But first, I just want to thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. And since it's the first time that we actually speak together, could you just introduce yourself briefly? So, Raoul, we start with you.
Bon, désolé parce que je ne parlais pas français.
It's all right. We don't mind.
Okay, so I'm Raùl Allén or Allén, how would you say it in Spanish? And I'm artist, like illustrator and comic artist. And I've been working for magazines and children's books and comics like for almost 20 years now. And I've worked from people like Quentin Tarantino, Playboy, Rolling Stone, Time Magazine, and also Valiant, DC, and Boom,
And
Dynamite,
everyone,
etc.
like everyone. And you, Patricia.
Je peux parler français, mais but if you're gonna continue in English, it's okay.
It's however you prefer because
English is good.
Because otherwise I wouldn't understand.
Well, I'm Patricia Martin. I'm a Spanish comic artist and an illustrator as well. I've been working alongside Raùl Allén doing interiors for the last 10 years, I think. And now I'm doing my own line of comic covers, which I really enjoy. Well, we just adapted Dune, the novel, to graphic novel. Now we're working on something. I don't know if it's already secret or not.
It's still secret.
Yeah, okay.
It's not.
We haven't been given the okay to.
It's not a secret. No,
Okay.
they told me that you could say it in my podcast. You know? Like, say like that. You
Yeah,
can.
send me the email with that.
I tried.
You tried.
We are very happy to be here.
Okay.
No, I mean, we have two projects, and one we can talk about, but
Yeah, but the other one.
the other one's
Okay,
it's still
so we
secret.
can say it.
No, it's still
No,
secret.
okay.
Okay. So we'll get to the one that you can speak about, but after.
Yeah.
After first the beginnings, because you told that you were working together like for 10 years now. So how did you guys meet? Was it in a convention, by work, just because you were assigned a project? How?
No.
We live in the same city,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it was very easy.
And at the beginning, we didn't. We started collaborating on a little bit of illustration.
Yeah,
And at that time, you were doing more editorial design
yeah. more
work
than
and like
illustration.
lettering and things like that. And
He taught me everything because I always love to draw. Huh?
Like that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love drawing since I was a little kid, but I forgot that I really enjoyed it. That and Raúl showed me that I could enjoy it again. So I owe you a lot.
well, but it's from the design work that Patricia was doing. She started collaborating, doing the lettering for the first comics that Valiant asked me to do. And the thing is, Patricia is really good, so good at planning that she is starting like helping me to plan the pages, and suddenly like you discover like how much you love like
Yeah.
the narrative and,
the
and the
visual
sequential
narrative.
art.
So this is our first collaboration. I think when I was beginning to elaborate a new visual narrative for our comics, and this is how we began working on comics together.
What did you like about the narrative? What's it like? What was maybe you said you forgot that you loved it? So yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a superhero reader since a little kid. So I didn't have those codes inside of me. I mean, the superhero narrative visual thing. And maybe I brought something new to our way to create comics, and that's why maybe the editors loved it so much. And I began to feel more like confident, and then I began working on inks, then color, and this is how the organic collaboration began.
It's like the next logical step after the covers is like you're gonna be doing like your own comics.
My own comics,
Yeah.
maybe, one day.
So, but how do you work together? Because it's been quite some time. So I get you got like a routine now. And was it harder to find that really like that work routine together?
It was pretty organic. It was like an evolution, just like like I mean, since there's so many parts into doing a comic, and I like dividing things into many different tasks, because otherwise it becomes like unmanageable. It was like, okay, maybe try to do this while I'm doing this, and it started like from, as I said, from the lettering to the layouts to inking, and it's been, I mean, it's always been very confusing for people, like to know like what like each one of us does, because it's very intertwined. And the thing is, we're always communicating, and we share the passion for telling stories, and we try to be truthful to the writer's voice, but also to bring interesting things for the reader and for ourselves to be interested in the process. And it was like very natural and organic in that sense, and I think as we continue working, we also work with a lot of reference material, because I love like seeing the subtleties of how people move and like the expressions, and so we do the reference sessions together, which are a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's because I have a studio with a green screen, and then we and lots of costumes that my mom has designed, and sewn together. So my dad builds
you're taking
the weapons. We take
pictures of yourselves in costume?
And also friends, and like sometimes models. And we have actually like all our comics could be photo novels, because we do the photos, and with the green screen we cut out all the reference so we can place them on top of the backgrounds, and because so it's a
whole process, but it's a lot of fun to do.
No, so you
okay, like that.
Yeah, like that. Because you said it's a whole process, but it's a lot of fun. That's
it is a lot of fun. It is true that, as Raul said, that is divided by different tasks. So every time we complete one, we go to the other one, and sometimes we can do two tasks at the same time simultaneously. While I work on the layouts, he's maybe designing the backgrounds of the stories. So there's always something to do. It's a never-ending work.
Like you said, it's when you said that it was intertwined, it's like because when we see the credits in general, we see like art by Raul and colors by Patricia, but it's not at all that way.
I don't think it
because
ever
you're
said,
also doing the layouts, and
like we would try to avoid like having that definition, like because it's not really known like that. And sometimes we have other collaborators, like for Dune. Like unfortunately, we couldn't put our dear friend and collaborator Jesus Pastrana. He should be on the cover because it's like as much. I mean,
an important part.
Yeah, that's a crucial part of our work. It's thanks to him, and he's inside on the credits, but unfortunately not on the cover. But we like to make people go crazy, like figuring out like who did what, and like.
Okay, and I got a question for you, Patricia. So how do you work your color? Because it really seems to be like your color style is somehow really recognizable. I remember, at least from the time at Valiant, that when you did something together, we knew that it was really something from you because of the art style, but also because the colors are really specific. I don't know if I'm...
we try to come up with colors that separate the scenes so the reader gets the idea on where they are, the characters. I mean, so for example, in Dune, we had like a different palette for Arrakis, a different palette for Caladan, a different one for the Harkonnens, Gide Prime. So maybe the reader, he's not noticing these things, but it's gonna help the lecture, the reading. And then this is what we want to do, like create a whole history story. Sorry, a whole story. There is not an art that is more important than the color or the other way around. It's like we want to integrate everything to have a nice experience for the reader.
But I think also
I don't know what I'm saying
your
anymore.
sense. I mean, you have a strong sense of style. Like,
Yeah.
Well, this is just our voices. But if you could see us now, like you'll see, like I'm wearing like very bland colors and clothes,
No.
and Patricia's wearing,
I-
much more graphic and striking
Always
and bold
graphic.
colors. So and your style leans into that graphic and then powerful. Is like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like you can see Patricia from from the other end
Half
of
a mile.
the hall, and I just blend into the background.
No.
Because you're just 50 Shades of Grey. So that's why. So before just speaking about June, what do you remember about your times at Valiant? What did you like about the character that you drew, like Livewire, like the secret weapons? What did you like about them?
We had a lot of freedom. This is what we loved about working in Valiant, right? And that we got to work with amazing writers that right now they are superstars like Dave Lemire, Matt King. We had a lot of fun. The editors were super nice. And also they were our first comics, so it was quite an experience for us.
And the thing is, we were really not too familiar with the origin of the characters in the 90s, and so we came to them with very fresh eyes in that sense, and we weren't as preoccupied with continuing the legacy.
Batman or something
Like in the case when we worked with Wonder Woman for DC.
you can feel that pressure when you do like a super important or well-known or character, and when you get to know or even create your own characters like we did in Secret Weapons with Eric Heiserer.
Yeah.
You really get to know them and really enjoy like writing with them in their stories.
Okay. And I guess you spoke about editorial freedom, also creative freedom. Is it something that you would be afraid not to have if you were to work with like Marvel or DC for long-term projects?
Well, being heavily directed, like from the experience of working in, for example, in advertising illustration, it can drain all your passion.
Motivations, yeah.
It's because if there's too many people filtering the work, it can be very tiresome because the process slows down a lot, and it's like, okay, first round of revisions, then second round of revisions, and final revisions, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
you lost interest.
it loses the spontaneity. And the thing is, with Valiant, they were like, they trusted us like 100%. We didn't have to turn in sketches for layouts, and I mean, for DC, we didn't have to turn layouts either. So we felt like we could really like play around with the way the things were put into the page, and I think that's what most people like about our work. It's just how we play with that. And when we did Dune, the first book was harder in that sense because especially Brian Herbert had this idea that comics were not supposed to have more than 5 or 6 panels per page, which to us was like completely nonsense. So soon they realized that it worked, and they started adding that. Like in the second book and the third book, they started adding like 9 panel pages and things like that on the script. So it's like just a matter of like how many comics you've seen and seeing that it works for the story that you're trying to tell.
So how did you guys come into the Dune project? I guess you were maybe fans of the book before. Have you had read it before? Or
Yeah, I read it when I was on my 20s, something like that. I felt in love with the universe. It was a 2-day reading for me because I got so obsessed
2 days.
with the
All right,
story.
it took me 2 weeks.
And yeah, I didn't sleep at all.
Since the brains and the operations.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
And the thing is that one of our editors in Valiant, he was our editor on Dune. Charlotte Greenbaum. She's also a dear friend of us. And she moved from Valiant to Abrams Comics.
Okay.
And when they got the project, the rights for adapting a graphic novel, she asked us to work with them on the story. We had to pass a little test because I think there were different artists who were like applying for the.
Okay, so
for
there
the-
was like a casting for artists.
something like that, yeah. But we weren't sure if we wanted to do it because it was, as we said before, a huge story, a lot of pressure. Nobody has done this before. There was this movie, everybody was expecting the movie. So we didn't even know at the time if we wanted to do that. So we did the test with our editor just because
We
who's
had to
gonna-
do it. We
yeah,
had to do it.
who's
We
gonna say
couldn't
no
pass the
to Dune?
opportunity.
And then we didn't know we were gonna get the job, and then we got it, and it was like, whew, I don't know what, but yeah, and
Now,
then
Because it really seemed like a paradox from what you just said before about not wanting the pressure. Because when you're adapting a book, so you may have some creative freedom, but it's Dune.
Yeah.
It's not every science fiction book. It's fucking Dune, you know.
It's
So
the
you got
Bible.
and you've got already images because it's been drawn and painted, and there was already another movie before, but there was also Denis Villeneuve's coming out. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure from doing this kind of project. So.
Yep.
But you still did it, yeah.
Yeah, for me it was very special because it was one of my brother's favorite books, and my brother passed away a long time ago, and he never got to see the graphic novel. But in that sense, like it's something like dear to me and important, and that's you both have said is like. Also like such a daunting task, and I love looking at a lot of different references and things like that, and I looked at so much stuff, and it was the worst thing that I could have done because it's like such amazing artists like depicting like having done amazing work with the
Yeah.
Dune universe.
but
that-
it was good to see the collective imaginario of the universe.
Yeah.
We did our research, but then we just said we're gonna
Yeah, it
do
was-
our own thing. It's gonna be our own thing, so we cannot be. How do we say? Contaminados or
Contaminated,
Yeah.
yeah. But we
Influenced.
after seeing everything, we just put it on a drawer and never looked back into it. But since it was such a big task, I got in touch with Alex J. Brady, who's a concept artist, a British concept artist, who's worked with Luc Besson and I've seen some of her work on Dune. It was very different from most of it, and like I approached her and asked if she was interested in helping us bring this project to life, and she collaborated doing some designs like ornithopters and things like that. Because this, in a way, this is like a big movie production, but it's just with a comic book budget. But we had to design everything from scratch. It couldn't look like the David Lynch movie. It couldn't look like the cast from Villeneuve's film, because that's the only thing that was known at the time, that who was going to play.
You hadn't seen any
there was-
trailer or
Yeah, no,
anything like that.
because it's just like nothing came out except the cast. So you knew the actors, and I remember like one of the first designs of Paul. They asked me, okay, they said it looks a little bit like Kyle MacLachlan, and then I changed it, and then I did a different thing, and they say like, okay, but maybe the hair looks a little bit like Timothée Chalamet. Like, okay, so I changed it again. So it's like,
So at what point did you know that you had the good designs for everything? Like, okay, so now we've got Paul Atreides is alright. We've got Harkonnen Baron is alright. How? Yeah, like when did you know that you got it right?
Well, Raul, he's the one who was more into design, the looks of everybody, and you went back and forth with the editors for the characters and the backgrounds too.
But it was mostly among us, and also with another past collaborator, David Astruga, who does like magic cards and stuff like that. He had worked previously with us on Wrath of Eternal Warrior at Valiant, and he has got a lot of design sense. So it's like when I'm thinking about a project like this, I want to incorporate like
many
strength, like the
best of everyone.
the best. Try to bring
as you
the
said
best
before,
with,
it's
of
like
everyone.
a cinematic production. You have to design everything. You have to come up with a new imaginario for that book. So you cannot do that alone. It's a big task.
I think also like the fact that we work together as a team, either if it's only with Patricia and me, or with Jesus or any other collaborator.
You enjoy working.
Yeah, it's like, and also like you can bounce off ideas of each other, which sometimes when you're working alone on a project, like you get stuck on something and you cannot see past a specific part that's not working. And this way we can refresh our minds easily and support each other. And that's really great. I think that's what I love about making comics, is how we combine our strengths and like how we support each other.
And did you have like any input into the breaking of the scenes, or was it all the writer's task, or did you have something to say also in the breaking of the scenes?
Well, as we said before, we had a script with different panels for each page. But we talked to our editor that we wanted to narrate in the way we were doing it before. Like, we're gonna be faithful to the writer's vision, but we wanted to create our own narrative for the story. So every time we got a new script for each one of the 3 books, we came up with new layouts, trying to incorporate the new scenarios. If they were in the case, for example, we were using black. How do we say black?
Yeah, the gutters.
Black gutters, so the reader could feel that he was inside a cave, a nocturne scenario. So we played with that, and then everything turned out well, because
and
it is a heavy story with a lot of dialogue, and the reader didn't feel lost.
We changed. Yeah, we did a lot of changes. Like, for example, in the first book, it was originally supposed to be 150 pages long, and once we started working on the layouts, we said, okay, this is like very tight. We need more pages to let it breathe a little bit more, and we asked for 13 extra pages, which is not too much, but it helps a lot to.
It made a difference.
It made a big difference. And if time hadn't been an issue, we probably would have asked for more pages.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, I mean, we like the idea of condensing things and doing ellipses and things like that, but also like, to me, in a way, it felt like a how do you say it in French?
Tempting.
Tintin. Tantan. Because they're always like talking. You got a lot of talking heads, and it's an epic story. So you want to have
scenarios and
big scenarios.
Yeah, big fight scenes. Also,
and silences.
The silence,
yeah, that's so important.
The desert is a silence place, so you don't need everybody to talk all the time.
Yeah.
You want to feel the experience of being alone and in silence.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. And was it hard to just going back to the design, but just for the worms? Was it hard to find the correct shape and appearance for the sandworms?
everything in Dune was difficult.
Okay.
Like it took a lot of iterations, and I mean we play a lot of with different shapes and like, but the collective imaginary that we shared like had a heavy influence in the final approach, and I think we went with that kind of like very organic, like old creature, like ancient creature, but also like monstrous kind of creature, and
As something also recognizable, like if you would draw a little one or a big one, you can know it's a sandworm, like me with the triangles. More into designy thing in the end for the eyes of the reader.
Okay. And on the long term, because it's still like 3 books and like more than 150 page each, weren't you too tired in the end?
Yes.
Because it really seems to be like a very long run. It's and maybe it's, I don't know if that's the longest work you've done continuously on the single story.
By far is the longest work we've done, because our longest.
So how did you manage to survive that?
Was supporting
a lot of melange.
Supporting each other, like without each other's support, we wouldn't have made it, because it was. I mean, it was hard. Like the first book, we had to do in 8 months, counting the designs, and during lockdown. During COVID, both we were both sick. Like I was sick for one whole month during the beginning of the production.
Yeah.
So I was like,
because
I stopped the
they
production.
wanted the comic to be out before the movie, so they would have like transversal promotion.
Yeah.
But then the movie got delayed because of COVID, and a year and a half, and it was a little bit bumpy, everything. That's why we are very happy with the result. Even with I'm super proud of the last book. This is my favorite one, but we really needed to change some and get some fresh air with other new projects. So it was 5 years of our life.
Almost
we're
5
very
years.
proud of them.
Yeah. Wow.
What we have accomplished, but we are happy that it is done and we can move on to other things.
I think in this sense, like by the third book, I mean, we were exhausted, but we had the hang of the characters, and we were a lot more confident in how we could do things. Because at the beginning, with the first book,
it was very
like
lost.
that pressure of like adapting Dune, and also like
getting adjusted with the writers and the editors.
We didn't feel as comfortable like changing as much stuff from the script as we did on all our other previous work, because it's like this was adapted from a novel, and that wasn't really. I mean, we communicated with Raùl Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, but not as much as we've done with other writers. So there was that transitional time to be able to get confident.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm really proud with the whole work, but especially with the third book as well, in that sense.
Okay, and so what's the next project, the one that you can talk about? What's next? What's next
Can
for
I
you?
say it?
Well, the one we can talk about.
Okay. So we are working on Doctor Strange with Kevin J. Anderson, one of the writers from Dune, the graphic novel. And it's a series curated by Alex Ross. I don't know if you read the Fantastic Four from Alex
Full
Ross.
Circle? Yeah, Full Circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in that format is the 64-page graphic novel.
Oh,
We're
great.
working with Abrams Comics and also with Marvel Arts. And the book is going to be beautiful. The edition is going to be very soigné.
Yeah, okay.
Taken care of.
Refined,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're working on that, and we're very happy for the opportunity.
It was actually Alex Ross that selected us to to do the Doctor Strange for that series, and that's something that like it made us really happy because when I was a student, after doing fine arts in Spain, like I went to the States and did like a illustration on design, and I remember meeting Alex Ross and Chip Kidd, who were presenting Alex Ross' book, and I got it signed, and it's like I was 20 years after that, I was talking on a Zoom call with Alex Ross and Charlie Cogman, the editor, and I pick up the book and show it to Alex Ross. It's like, so it's kind of like full circle again. It's interesting how these things work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll be looking forward to it and to the other project. Maybe we'll speak about it later. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Next time we're in Paris, we have to go get together for that long talk.
That's a deal.
Because we will be able to talk about Doctor Strange and also the secret project.
Okay, let's go. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
Patricia.
you.
Thank you.